This conference will now be recorded.
All right, calling the October 9th, 2025 meeting to order at 6:07 PM. So moved.
Second.
Wait, yeah, so moved. All in favor?
Aye.
All right. We do have to go into executive session. I think we can just do that at the top. We don't have any callers. So I don't know, you know what? Maybe we should wait for Jeremy on that. Let's go through a couple of things and then we'll bail out on executive session towards the end. Okay. Okay, asphalt plant update. Rich Parrish and I met with the DEC last Wednesday. I don't know if anybody got to see the message I put out on the website, but we got to meet with the facility owner, which was the goal. It was funny though, because the whole, what is it? Am I on the right one?
Yeah.
The whole thing was that we kept meeting with them for the last 2 years, asking them to meet with the owners of the facility, and we never got the meeting. And then he was like, oh, I was never told I needed to have a meeting. So we finally got the meeting based on the petition. He was very nice. So they changed it. We know since we started this plight 2 years ago or whatever it was, they changed the stack height for the output, and they also did this blue smoke filtration system. So those have mitigated the situation significantly because we're not getting the complaints we used to get. But in addition, they facilitated the meeting and we got direct contact we went over everything with the owners of the plant. We discussed the fact that we think that it's the weather inversion that's causing it. They've agreed to get weather monitoring to check for inversions. They've also given us assurances that they're following, we went over their permit in detail to make sure that that the quality and quantity is in accordance with what they're permitted to do. So we had the DEC, we all went over that. And then in addition, they said that they are willing to still work with us going forward. They said if we keep monitoring it, again, if we get the information while it's happening, they'll come down, they'll work with us. So with all of that, they kind of, we haven't gotten as many complaints. The DEC asked us if we felt satisfied with having established the relationship, and we said, yeah, as long as all that's done and they're going to monitor the weather. So from that, they were going to, at that point, they did hold the application based on our petition. They didn't pass it until we got to speak to them, but we had nothing else to say because they did take measures. So that's a wrap. Unless if it happens again, we have contacts and we have them willing to work with us. So I think that was a big win. DEC meeting update. Chris and I met with them, 3 weeks ago? Yeah, we met with them 3 weeks ago to discuss what we can do at Walnut for the post-storm recovery that we're going to have to handle, as well as the Van Brunt Manor. There's 2 spots. We showed them Van Brunt Manor Beach as far as what the commissioner had asked for the gravel, what we can do for that. There was also the complaint that the resident put in about the water pooling. So they looked at Walnut, they looked at 2 spots on Van Brunt, and we also took them down to the Triangle. Mm-hmm. So they said that if we're just going to do seating, benches, picnic tables, something along that line, and we're not going to actually disturb the area, we don't need to get a permit. So if you want to start kind of looking at what we might want to do there, yeah, we can move forward with that. So you're good. I mean, I think we could do definitely like a bench or a picnic table or something, yeah, and make it match. I have the information, right? We have the information for the company that we used for all the stuff. So I could put you in touch with them and you could do some research and see what you think you want to do.
Okay.
All right. Dock repair. So the dock's coming out of the water in a couple of weeks, so around November 1st, give or take. But the dock is in, I don't know if you guys have seen it. It's worn. it's not
The
terrible.
floating dock,
Yeah,
right?
the floating dock. It's worn out. It's got, where the ramp comes down.
Yep.
It's all ripped up.
Yeah.
If we fix it, we're gonna have to do something to compensate for that, like put some kind of protective thing so that something else gets wrecked instead of the dock,
Right.
because there's a lot more movement than we originally anticipated. But I had CETO give us some initial pricing. So to redeck it with regular pressure treated wood, which is what's there, it's 2,100 to redeck the floats. Or if we want to do something composite, like composite lumber, which is to match the actual dock, that really nice, which will last longer, but it's 7,250. So those are the two numbers that we're looking at. I basically told them that, I mean, I'm bringing it up now just to keep in our back of our mind, but I think, come like February, we should revisit this and kind of think about what we want to do. I mean, I like the composite. I think that would be really nice. No splinters, no, but he'd have to give us something for that area so that it doesn't get beat up. So we're going to circle back to that, after the new year, because right now it's coming out of the water. But before it goes back in, I think we should definitely do one of the two.
Yeah, we should have something
Something
done, because you're not going to put it back in
I
the
don't
same
want to.
condition
I don't
it
think
is
we can
now.
put it back in the
Yeah,
way it is.
Exactly.
All right. So then we've got the default tax payments. That's what we spoke about with Joe. He's not here. He actually had another training thing that he had to go to tonight. So he's working on it. I did speak to him about it. He's working on it, but he's going to give us an update in November. So that's that. We'll skip. Jeremy's not here for the speed report, so we can circle back to that when he gets here. Chris, easements.
Easements were pretty straightforward. I took over for Ron Cagle, who did it last year. I looked at our public access easements. Those were the ones that this report generally focuses on. So did Steve's Path, Indian Trail, and the path from Walnut Avenue to Trustees Park. So that goes from the parking lot, Walnut Beach, up to by the tennis court. All three paths are in overall good condition. There was nothing major that stuck out. The path, obviously, two of them have stairs. Indian Trail and Steve's Path have stairs. The Walnut to Trustees Park is more. It's a lot of heavy roots, which Ron brings up, but that's all natural and it's doesn't really pose a threat. It's like walking through any other foresty area, but the only thing that I noted, and it's for all three, is that there are some areas of overgrowth that we should tend to in the spring. The top and bottom of the stairs over at Steve's Path both have some overgrowth. The top of the stairs at Indian Trail does, and then the bottom, the Walnut Beach parking lot, the area down there entering the path from Walnut to Trustees has some overgrowth. So nothing major, like I said, at the moment, and the overgrowth can be tended to in the spring.
Okay, or maybe if we have some if Dave has some downtime.
Yeah, it's nothing major. Everything's been well maintained, and based on Ron's previous report, any of the issues that he identified were addressed. Yeah.
Okay.
So we should be pretty good.
Okay. Trust agency account closure. So that is a recommendation. We have an extra account at the bank that we utilize. It was used for compliance, for like audit compliance, right?
Gas fee 87, maybe? Right, I think it's gas fee, something with payroll taxes. It was
Okay.
an old requirement that was no longer required.
Okay, so it's a requirement that's no longer required. Right now, it's only being used as like a deposit holding place for special events, or not even,
Yeah, it's just for special events, so it's
which
not
we
being
could just
transferred
put into
money.
ours, because there's no point in doing that whole transfer. So we're gonna, the auditor recommended that we close it since we don't need it anymore. So, I mean, it's just a bank account, but I need to run it by you boys. All right, so that's that. Justice Court response update. So we had gone over the the money, we had asked Justice Edelson to come up with corrective protocols after the unresolved 1278 that we recorded as uncollected debt. That was supposed to come in September 15th. He has not answered that request as of yet. So right now, we're still waiting for him to reply and give us the corrective protocols that we asked for, but we have not heard anything on that. Regarding the 551.45 that the village has on record regarding the court overages that don't match, Paul has sent us several documents. The documents that he sent us do not match. He sent us the office of the Justice Grants Office. Hey, Jeremy.
Sorry, guys.
No worries. The Justice Grant Office, the ones that manage it, they sent Paul different numbers. None of the numbers match. They have one set of numbers. Paul's given us another set of numbers. They both the office, the court grant oversight something. What regarding court grant? I have to look at it. Suffolk County. So anyway, the numbers don't match, and we're kind of at an impasse because we have X and we've got two other numbers coming in. Neither one that zero out the account. I'll go over this, but in a nutshell, just to get you up to speed, we had some hanging issues with the Justice Court. There was $1,278 that was that was owed to the village that was never paid. This goes back before I was mayor. It goes back two mayors back, and it was never paid. We were going to negotiate it. We thought it would be reasonable since it was such a time frame to split the difference. I deferred it to Suffolk County Court Administration, and they had told us that that our recourse would be to, file a claim against our justice. So the board voted not to do that and to accept, to waive it, to accept it as uncollected funds, with the request that the justice give us corrective protocols, which is what we're waiting on. That was due September 15th, and it hasn't come in. But and in addition, the other half of their bookkeeping that was not correct was we on record have $551.45 of overages, of extra money in grants that was not spent. So we asked him to clarify that, and that's where we're at this impasse, because we have this number and he has one number, and the office that gives us the grants has another number. So I've deferred the whole thing back to the Suffolk County Court Administration to ask them for advice, because we can't just wipe it clear without having guidance. So I've given them an update and asked them to give us, like as they did with the money that was missing, I've asked them to do it with the money that we have over. So I'm waiting to hear back from them. Jeremy, I'm going to go back. Speed sign report.
Yeah, I uploaded into the trustee files essentially the first 90 days from the reports on Singingwood, and then also put in a comparative first 90 days from Washington. We have kind of similar. I mean, the numbers of vehicles is very different. Whereas in that time frame, we had about 100,000 vehicles being picked up
On Washington.
as opposed to approximately 25 on Singingwood.
Stop it, 25?
25,000.
Oh, 25,000. I'm
Sorry.
like, wow, what with the, how do people,
Yeah, 25,000. Yeah.
they like disappear into the twilight zone, they come around the corner.
Teleport to Washington. Yeah, it's that new overpass we put in. But as far as the numbers, they're actually, as far as vehicles approaching the speed sign, are very similar. It's approximately 75% compliance with the speed limit. And if you look at up to that next 5 mile an hour range, so 25 to 30, we're around like 90, a little over 90% compliance with underneath that speed limit. The vehicles are actually in better compliance on Citywood on the reverse, but I think it also has to do with the topography and the inability to pick
turn
up
that they're
speed.
making,
You
yeah.
can't pick up speed. So the numbers on that on the backside are actually better than what Washington's were because they didn't know we were clocking from both directions.
Mhm.
So that was closer to like 40 to 50%
Mm-hmm.
compliance, whereas on Singingwood it's closer to 70. So
Okay.
but the other, I guess, concerning thing is that if you look at the percentages, they're very low as far as people exceeding those limits, but you still have roughly 500 to 1,000 vehicles that are exceeding 35 miles an hour.
Like they're flying.
Yeah, yeah.
Was that the same on Washington too?
Correct? Yeah.
Okay.
So it's the percentages have come out to about the same. The numbers of vehicles obviously are skewed higher to Washington just because of the overall percentages, but you still have essentially 5% of the vehicles that are doing 40 to 45 miles an hour.
Did you see if it had, if after a time, if Washington, if those higher speeds ever came down before we pulled it?
Yeah, the speeds on the trend kind of went actually the opposite way. So it trend as time progressed from the date of installation, it essentially
Creeped up a little bit.
basically we lost about 2% compliance a month.
Okay.
So was kind of the
Right.
trend for that. I think we did like a 6 month
And
period on that.
the Speedy Gonzaleses didn't slow down. They just kept doing their thing.
Yeah, I mean every month you just have, you have essentially a number. I think the data is showing that you have a number of people who regardless are still going to be doing that.
Yeah.
Somewhere between 35 and 40 to 45. The numbers are low, but percentages are low, but you're still having, if you have 100 vehicles doing 40 to
I'd be
45
curious
miles an
to
hour.
see if there was, you know what? I wonder, do they make those things that just monitor it without having the sign?
We actually did that for a period of time on Washington. It has a,
You turned it off.
yeah, we can turn on, we can still, yeah, it has a stealth mode option on it.
No, but I'd be curious to have it completely like something undetectable on Washington to see if now that we took the sign away,
Yeah.
did the speeds pick up?
What is it looking like?
And
Yeah,
what did-
you would still need something. You would need some kind of radar device where you need
Do you know if
somebody
they
out there.
have anything like that? Like a standing sneaky gun to see speed? No, I'm talking something sneaky.
Yeah, I can look around a little bit, but
Maybe, I mean, do you know what I'm saying? Like, I know I sound silly, but like, I'd be curious to know if now, if they took it, but I'm still gonna be in my car. I mean, Jacqueline and I sat in lawn chairs and watched them go by.
Yeah.
No, I just, if there was anything, I don't know, like something to,
I mean, I'm sure there is something. I think it then comes down to what does that cost?
I know.
And,
you know what,
how
everybody seemed to
practical
really
is
like
that.
it. Like, we're still getting people on Washington who want it back. So I think
Yeah.
we should move forward with the additional
Yeah.
signs. But do you want to keep this one on Singingwood? Do you want to move it to, Indian Valley has also requested data.
Yeah.
I mean, Indian Valley's really quiet,
Yeah.
but
still kind of like another
yeah.
throughway.
I mean, do you think we should do that? Maybe leave it up for another
I would
through
give
the
it,
winter?
I would give it 6 months. I think it's, because you're going to see a drop off in numbers regardless right now, because I think what Washington showed us was once we hit November, the overall number of vehicles drops off significantly.
Mhm.
So I think you get a little bit different data set through the winter period. So
Mhm.
I think if we just, where it is right now, leave it through the winter
Well, I guess
and then could relocate it.
yeah, the other thing is, I mean, if we're going to wind up getting the same one,
Mhm.
because of cost and it's
Yeah.
the same.
Yeah.
We don't have to relocate it. We could just we could find another location, a third
Yeah.
location. and leave them there. Bring one back to Washington,
Yeah.
leave one at Singingwood. The only question is, does Indian Valley need one?
No, but I mean, the nice thing is with the signs is that essentially it's, we have a bracket that has to be put into the ground. The bracket gets,
I think we should get another one for Washington in the spring or sooner even. We
Yeah.
should get another one, put one back on Washington, and then possibly, and then do the test for Indian Valley
Mhm.
in the spring, and then decide whether we want to get a third one. Get another one now, so that Washington gets their speed
Yeah.
sign back.
Yeah.
Leave the one where it is, and then in the spring move it and see if one even makes sense for Indian Valley. What do you
Yeah.
guys think?
I mean, road safety is a consistent topic of conversation.
Yeah, but we don't know if that's the right spot, because
Yeah.
the third spot, I don't want to pepper them all over the village.
you
The
don't
other
know.
place would be coming down. The only other place would be coming down Van Brunt before they hit the triangle, because like we've addressed,
Yeah.
White Pine is a little bit of an issue, but I think I don't get complaints about White Pine. I get complaints about Indian Valley. I get complaints about Singingwood.
Yeah.
And obviously Washington and Van Brunt. But Van Brunt would be, people are still saying, I just got an email recently about Van Brunt, because they're like, oh, great that the speed humps are where they are, but people are still racing down, and they are.
To get to that speed.
To
hump
get to
and
the
then-
speed
and
hump
then
where they have to
braking
slow
once you-
down.
once
Yeah.
you get there, yeah. Yeah, I mean, it's an interesting point because also Van Brunt takes traffic from, outside of our village too. People
Yeah.
peel off and go down
That might be a
shore,
good
so
spot.
it might be a good
Maybe
spot
we
to
should do
try
that.
it.
Maybe we should look into getting a replacement for Washington, and then in the spring, try Indian Valley, Van Brunt, and decide if
Yeah.
we're going to get one, or where one would be best before we buy a third one. Or
I think the other thing that we'll have to have we should probably have a conversation about is also the vehicles are in compliance, but I think there's also a reality that 25 to 30 miles an hour on Washington looks very different than 25 to 30 miles an hour on maybe Indian Valley or on
even
Van Brunt
yeah.
or on Cedar or on a
Yeah,
smaller road.
That's true.
Where it's those speed limits are probably higher than realistically should be, even though we've lowered them down.
Yep.
But I think having some of this data will help
Right.
us have that conversation.
Should we look at getting another one, like, sooner than later? Once we're done with the hurricane season, I think maybe we get another one and put it back on Washington.
I think I would probably defer to Jess as far as purchase period for that, and because I know we got reimbursed for a large portion of that, so when would be best to.
Okay, but there's no period. We submit when we submit, right?
Okay.
And then you have to wait, so.
Let's try it.
Yeah.
All right,
So,
so let's look into that, and
Okay.
let's get some numbers for that for the next meeting. We'll do a resolution. All right. Bring one back to Washington. Okay, then we've got the New York Sea Grant, Long Island Sound Partnership. Chris, Jeremy, you guys want to update?
Yeah,
Ian, right?
so we followed up with Elizabeth Bornstein after our meeting. Chris spoke with her at Harbor Day, Pawtucket Harbor Day, and they opened
The fourth round of funding,
Funding.
October 1st.
Yeah, so we basically have split it up. Chris is working on the application for the grant writing portion, and I'm working on the application for the
Engineer.
the resiliency bid package, the notice of intent that's required for that third round of funding.
Oh, okay,
So the
got it.
application for grant writing assistance, it gives up to $9,950. You don't have to match, no match required, and it's available on a rolling basis until it's used up. So
We have grants that we would use the grant
so right
writer.
now we're coordinating, we're seeing what's eligible. And
Got
Tim
it.
and I are working together in tandem to
And what about the money for what
That
about,
would be the notice of intent
Ah,
that we're filing, so
for
that
the
would be the
engineering.
one, yeah, that's the sound resiliency grant program, and that's like a 1.2 million. The letter of intent has to go out and be by the end of November 21st,
okay.
and then they'll let us know if we qualify to move on to that next.
Oh,
phase.
cool,
Yeah.
all right, good.
Yeah, so it's, they
When-
kind of go hand in hand, so him and I have been tackling it together.
All right, good. All right. We've got the village insurance policy. Darlene's not here tonight. She did do some research on it. I think everybody got the email. I asked for a couple of other things. I think we didn't have, I'm not gonna suggest we vote on that additional policy because I don't think we have the answer. I don't think she was able to get the answer yet on,
Clarification for the
the
below
basement.
grade.
Right, so let's wait.
I think they
Did-
did answer.
Did they?
I mean, if you can wait till next month, darling, fine. I'm pretty sure they answered.
They did?
Yeah, there's a thing here on the back.
Yeah, I think they
Oh,
answered,
I
like,
missed
her
it.
very
It says
preliminary.
no NFIP policies do not cover remediation or below ground contents,
So then I don't think we even need to do it, right?
right? We'll just review this last page.
I apologize, I didn't see it.
It's like an email. I don't know where mine is.
Yours is there, Jerry.
Yeah, right before the
And I
Board of
included like the
Trustees meetings.
actual quote with the.
I think this is the one that I didn't get. Remember you told me that you sent me?
Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah.
This is the
That's
one
what
that I
it
didn't
is.
get. That's why I didn't realize that it was discussed.
It's
Okay.
like in yellow, well, it's, black and white, but it's.
So what does it
So
say?
basically, they're saying it was written as a slab on grade building, so with no basement. So it's saying that what this says is that the contents below would not, which is typical in the flood policy, the contents below would not be covered, but there is limited coverage for your system. So like if like a boiler, hot water heater, stuff that mechanical attached structures below grade would be covered under the policy,
Oh.
but any of our contents below grade would not be. So all the documents that are down there,
Yeah,
they
yeah.
need to be.
I mean,
And
for
also
$1,000.
remediation. So I don't know is it drywall finished down there? Or is it just
Yeah.
painted?
No.
So like remediation technically would not be covered, but repair to any of the fixed structures would be.
We have everything down there, right? Like our boiler, all that stuff.
So all those
Boiler,
items,
okay.
all those items would be covered. So if there was a flood, now this says this was based on slab on grade. So they would. I still don't think we can vote on it today because it looks like they still need to revise the policy to include below grade coverage for that.
All right, so we'll throw that back. I did not see that. There was a couple of emails that for some reason didn't hit me. So we'll talk to Darlene. I'll email her afterwards and give her a little bit more. And then she's also researching, I think, a couple of other things, right?
Yes, about the, our year going from July for insurance.
Right,
It's
then
the
they
budget
were gonna
issues.
give her the information on that, and then she's gonna look for other carriers. Oh, and then there was the other thing was that Joe had mentioned to her, to all of us, that there's a possibility to talk to them about resident flood insurance, about giving us
Oh,
approaches to
yeah.
lowering resident flood insurance information, so we'll add that too. We'll give her a download after the fact, and we'll pick we'll pick the whole thing back up in November. Okay, so now the big guy, special events policy. I don't even want to do it, but we have to do it. So I went through our application, and I looked at other villages that might have had semi-comparable. A lot of them don't. A lot of them have, the makeup of the villages, and even these have different makeup than ours. But the ones that did have special event permits for local people utilizing village property, village property. The ones that did have something was East Hampton, West Hampton Beach, Sag Harbor. Huntington had one, but it was almost like a corporate, like it didn't speak to like residents. It was more like if a company wanted to rent portions of it. So I think we have to stick to residents for this for the most part. And these are I think if we go through, and I don't know if you guys had time to look at it and come up with anything, because I mean, I have my thoughts, but the application timing and deadline, ours is 4 weeks. East Hampton has a sliding scale, 21 to 60 days, depending on size of event. West Hampton has, depending on size of event. Sag Harbor has 60 days prior. I think on that, we should follow East Hampton and West Hampton and give it a sliding amount depending on the size of the event, because I don't want to tell somebody that they have to decide on their kid's birthday 2 months in advance.
Right.
So, what do you guys? I mean, 30 to 120 seems excessive, but I actually think 3 weeks, 21 days to 60 days is, I kind of like that.
Yeah.
Thoughts?
Yeah, what would you draw the number up for the
Well,
21 days?
we'll get to that. So,
I mean, in general, I think I agree. I think having a sliding
I mean, you
scale.
could even do 14 if you want to be super. I mean, it depends. I don't want to shut somebody down from having a get together with their family. So we could say 21 to 60, or we could say 14 to 60. I
Yeah.
think if it's going to be a big event, it's going to require time.
Yeah.
Just out of curiosity, for like small events, do you get a lot of people calling and asking for last minute?
all the time.
Yeah.
And then we spend hours following up with them.
Okay.
Their insurance and their deposit and everything else.
And is it
Make sure they
smaller
have-
size, like 20 people? Is
So
that
it's like
kind
a
of
5-year-old birthday.
yeah, like last minute? Can I do this this weekend?
What do you
next
think?
weekend?
Do you think it should be 21 days?
Yeah.
Okay. I like.
Dave,
Just
anything?
because what people do is people come in with their application and then they leave and they're like, oh, we'll get you the insurance.
And then
we'll get you the
it
money.
takes them
And then
time.
you're following up them every single day. Like, are you bring me?
Because-
we're having a party. And then they're like, it's for my 5-year-old.
All right, so if it's 21 days, they have more time to get whatever they need. Okay,
All at once.
let's do 21.
And
Okay.
Or what, 30?
21, I would do 21 to 60. I would even do
No,
21 to
right.
90.
Right now we're 30.
Right now, right now
then right now it's like 4 weeks,
4
but
weeks.
you don't have to have anything in until 2 weeks. Like,
yeah, I think let's just not worry
Yeah.
really what we have now. Let's make we're kind of starting this. So I think it should be 21 to 90. I think if someone's going to have a wedding and have 150 people or whatever they have that they think they're going to have, I think that we need, what happens if it's in, we miss a meeting, something or other.
Right.
I think it should be 21 to 90 and let that be the sliding scale so that,
Yeah.
if it's a huge event,
Yep.
which doesn't happen often, but it gives us the flexibility,
Mhm.
So let's make that 21 to 90. The fees, Oakwat's fees 250, deposit, and then 150 is refundable, contingent on their cleaning, their maintenance. East Hampton's varies. Fire marshal fees are possible. West Hampton has an application fee that you just have to pay to apply. I'm just going to throw my opinion out. I don't think we need to do that. But they do have 100 for a special event, 100 people or more, 500 deposit, additional fees for police, etc. And then Sag Harbor has an application fees and additional fees. So over here, I think I gave a suggestion. On the other one, I did the fees and deposits. All event require 250 security deposit, 150 refundable. Rules are followed. Events over, I broke it down. The way I did it was events over 50 people, add $100 surcharge. So if it's bigger than 100 people, if it's bigger than 50 people, you do a surcharge and you also do another cleaning fee for the porta potties. and I'm not saying it has to be 50. I just think that it's far different when you have, 24 people and they're down there versus 75. They're going to be using the porta potties, and I don't know if it's fair to that the village is paying for those clean outs, especially if it happens like when they're not coming to clean it out.
And they do.
Yeah. Yeah. So that's my suggestion is we break it off at 50, but we could break it off anywhere, right? Um, and then I had thought, um, you know, we talked about closing the beaches. I mean, that you're closing off. We can have holidays conditional. Maybe add something for holidays because you don't want somebody monopolizing Walnut Beach on Labor Day or 4th of July when residents might not be able to use it. If they have 75 people, then where's everybody? You know, have like some kind of clause in there for holidays is a different, I don't know. I guess that's a board decision. That would be just a board. Yeah.
I mean, you could just take the time of the, you could just take the, basically the time of the docks and the water, late spring to end of summer, and just say, exclude public events or private events on holidays during that time period. So like Memorial Day, 4th of July, Labor Day would fall in that, or would basically be the three big ones that would fall in that period of time that we have
And leave
usage.
those closed.
And just leave them closed during those holidays for events. Yeah.
All right, so
for
I think
private
let's do
events.
that. What do you guys think?
And then leave the rest open.
For the village only?
Well, yeah, if anyone's used.
Yeah, anyone's use.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, so let's do that. Let's do federal holidays. What do you guys think about the surcharge for larger groups in the porta potty?
I think this
Is there
makes sense.
events on the porta potty, like on the application, they check off if they're going to use the porta potties? Like if someone has 70 people, but they're bringing their own bathrooms, they're still paying that surcharge?
No, if they bring their own bathroom, we would waive it.
Okay.
Yeah,
I would say if they're using ours, they have to pay for the cleaning.
Right.
And if they bring their own, we would waive it, right?
yeah, but if you have 50 people down there, $100 surcharge is reasonable.
I think so.
Yeah, because you
Because people
usually,
don't want to bring their own. Right? So, waived if, well, the porta potty cleaning fee, I think whatever that is should be whatever we're paying per cleaning. I'm saying
Yeah,
each time.
yeah.
Okay.
So if
I
you're
would have
cleaning
to
it
double
before
check, but
cleaning
it's
after,
something
it's like-
reasonable.
Yeah.
Nothing-
Okay, so I think 100's reasonable.
yeah, that's what I
So waived
Why
if
not?
they
I mean,
bring
if
their
it's-
own.
If it's 45, why don't we just leave it for everything?
Mm.
No, but they're gonna clean it beforehand.
They're gonna
So,
have
like,
to
if
clean
they're
it. They're
public
gonna want
use-
it cleaned beforehand.
I'm just saying if somebody brings a porta potty down, people aren't just going to be using that porta potty.
Just leave it 100
Or
across
40
the board.
If it's 45, just leave it for 45, $50 to cover the cleaning costs for any event down there.
And-
If it's that low, because if somebody brings, you've
And
seen
then
it.
they
people-
bring their own porta potty and we still charge them to clean ours. People aren't gonna like that. I'm bringing my own toilet, but I have to pay for you and your family to use that toilet that you're not even in my party.
I agree, but I'm just saying at the same time.
I don't think
we've
people want to
seen-
bring their porta potty.
I don't think so either, but yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that's what I'm saying. So people are going to have an event. You have 100 people. You have one porta potty. How often do people just go over and use the other porta potty? Yeah.
Yeah, just- $45 for it.
Yeah. As part of the event.
All right.
Honestly,
So I think the 100, because you're cleaning it before and cleaning it
Yeah,
after.
because if they make a mess of it, we gotta clean. They're gonna want it clean before, and
and in fairness, I don't think.
You're also thinking about-
yeah,
You're also thinking about the fact that you're saving the steps of a resident having to book one, get it delivered, make
Yeah.
sure it's
The driving
clean,
people.
pick it up, like the time associated with it on top of the cleaning.
well, and then here's the thing: if somebody's like, if you take it, I think these are the fees, right? But if they come in and they're saying, well, but I'm having a truck come with the giant porta potties, like the ones those big, then we can just waive it at the time based on the application, right? I think,
Yeah.
I mean, I wanted to, and then now going back to corporate branded events. So now here's the situation. You have, again, residents not being able to utilize their, um, the, the parks, and somebody is bringing in their company and having a company picnic, or they're having a co-op event where a, a XYZ company is sponsoring it, with them. I think, if they plan on branding it, if they're gonna put up logos and banners and have use it for corporate uses, I think that there should be an additional fee to that. I don't know how you guys feel.
So,
I mean, I don't
Yes
know.
and no?
Yeah, yes and
I'm
no.
open.
It's just, I mean, because I think enforcement and, I mean, it's like, I guess, practical application. If somebody's got 100 people coming to a party, right, and those none of those people are, 75% of those people don't live in the village, right?
I guess it doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter if you got 75 people coming out of town or out of the area for a birthday, or they're coming from a corporate event. Does it matter?
I guess it doesn't.
Well, I'm just thinking also the enforcement of it. Who's to say if you got 100 people and you say,
Right.
doing,
Okay.
I'm doing
All
a
right.
party,
So
and now I'm not
so
doing
we're not gonna do anything with corporate
well,
branding.
I mean, I'm just saying,
I'm easy peasy
I mean,
either way.
I think you, because I think you,
I just
you,
think that
you cross a line into like you cross a line from having a special event, right,
for residents.
for residents, to then having filing a mass permit for
Right.
having an event, right? Like it's crossing
There's a
into like a
second-
mass assembly event if you're like advertising commercially for an event in the village.
No, but now let me but like
Like
flip
putting-
Well, I
it.
have a point to this too, though. What about the flip side? See, I'm saying a resident's one thing, but if this is open and say like you have a friend who owns a car wash and they want to do an event down here, that really changes the dynamic, because without you facilitating this outside person and their business coming in, that's a flip side of the token
There is.
kind of deal, So it's not
I-
as cut and dry when you start opening
Right,
up
because
that.
if it's a family birthday party, you're assuming it's there. Granted, you could have a family birthday for your cousin, but you're still the resident hosting it. But now, I don't know, somebody works for Elaine's, right? Elaine's wants to do a branded event here, and they're friends with Ray. And now there's Elaine's is there with all her banners and stuff, and people. I mean, on the other side of it, it is to a certain degree a different type of event when you're doing corporate promotions, because you now you've got a company that's benefiting off of our parks at for $100.
No, I agree, but can you just address? I mean, if we're going to allow, I guess that's the other thing. If we're going to allow corporate sponsored events, then I do think they should be handled separately and billed separately. If we're going to allow, I mean, that's what I'm saying. You're crossing over to almost like a mass assembly permit, right? If you're allowing a corporate sponsored event from a special event permit, I think there's a separation there.
So do we defer anything that's corporate sponsored? Do we revisit that in mass assembly?
Yeah, we could push it towards a special event permit for a mass assembly. Yeah.
That's not
And
a bad idea.
And then we can change how much
We can
want to
address the
charge
mass
for that.
assembly permit differently.
Yeah, and we review it.
I don't want to stop people from having.
I
their
do.
company
But to your
picnics,
point, you don't want
know?
to have, you want to have. You don't want to have somebody call in and saying Bob's Garage is throwing an event.
Well, we had the
Coke Lot on
situation.
Friday.
We had the situation a couple of years ago where we had a resident who hosted not her kid's sixth grade graduation. She hosted her friend from a school that doesn't even have anything, it's a different school than the ones that our kids go to. She had a sixth grade graduation for Minnesota.
Mhm.
And that was a lot of people. And there was, it's just,
I don't, I
she
think that's
wasn't,
more of the cap, I mean, sorry, I don't mean to jump, but I think that gets,
that's where it starts to become
it
weird.
gets, yeah, because now you're like, well, where do your kids go to school? You're questioning people, like, who,
I'm not saying
think
that
it
they're
ca- I think
kids,
that's
I'm
more of
saying
the-
that somebody can bring in, a company can basically utilize our space.
Yeah.
With minimal affiliation with the resident.
yeah, but then we'll see on the application what they're bringing in, food trucks and how many people they're bringing in. And I think whoever's reviewing that permit can kind of common sense go, look, this doesn't look like a party you're having anymore. This needs to be addressed as a different and push it over this direction. I think who's ever reviewing that.
I think it's
Think
not a
that
bad
common sense
idea to
separate it.
push anything corporate sponsored push that into Mass Assembly, right? Because it becomes a separate thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Property off, by the off. Yeah, any extra,
Okay. Yeah.
And
All right.
if it's a corporation doing it, then they should be aware and able to do that. So
Well, it's also the liability of having a company coming in, right?
Yeah.
So, all
It's
right.
just a matter of thinking about how to effectively enforce it, in a way that makes sense.
Yeah.
That's really the only thing as far as, someone lies on an application.
Well, you
what
can't.
What the recourse is. Though.
I mean, there's only so much enforcement.
Right.
I'm not going down there and
No.
saying to somebody, "Hey, this doesn't look. You look like you might be from
No.
Minnesota Elementary School.
I'm just
You
saying
don't look
that-
like a Setauket Elementary kid." All right, let's. Okay, so fees.
party.
All right, insurance requirements. Polkart has 1 million liability insurance. East Hampton has proof of ID, insurance if it's tents, generators, alcohol, large events. West Hampton Beach has a 1 million, 2 million liability naming village, must include host liquor liability if alcohol served. Sag Harbor has a 1 million per occurrence, 2 million aggregated, mandatory for public commercial. So, I mean, based on that, I think we're fine with the 1 million. I don't think that needs to get changed. I think we're
Cody
in,
has a suggestion.
huh?
Cody has a suggestion.
Ooh, okay, we'll get this.
And at that rate, you would also probably require an SLA certificate.
Yeah, we're getting to alcohol.
Yeah.
It's coming.
But if at least if you have somebody that took that course and they're certified in the state of New York, six class to serve alcohol, and they're supposed to only cut you off from them.
Okay,
That's great.
I like that.
Yeah.
All right. Parking,
If you walk the course, you take the six course online, you take it.
so I can go down there and be their bartender?
You can.
All right. They're gonna they're gonna love that.
Then she'll scope out what kind of party.
I'll go, and then I'm gonna check out to see if while I'm pouring the alcohol, I'm gonna be like, what elementary school do you go to?
Well, that's a
No, I'm pouring it for his. I'm pouring it for his father.
We're gonna have to up the liability a little bit.
Oh my God, I'm in trouble. All right. No, I can't do I obviously get clearly I can't do the course. I'm not going to be the bartender. All right.
You might want to hope that's one of the times they're recording.
Yeah, they know me by now. All right. Poquat, the parking and traffic. Poquat, limited to 50% a lot, no street parking. Permits issued by clerk, code enforcement. East Hampton requires Google Maps sketch of parking. West Hampton requires site plan. Sag Harbor must indicate parking arrangements and restrictions. Valet service details required. So I'm not, I think, if you go back to the one that I came up with, I had said up to 10 vehicles. If you go to the other side, My, oh, look, I also have an approval. Well, anyway, let's go back to parking. Up to 10 vehicles, allowed with clerk and code enforcement approval. I don't think that that becomes a challenge. Then I had 11 to 25 vehicle. Applicant must submit a parking traffic plan. We could give them it, or they can give us what they want to do. More than 25 vehicles, I think applicant must provide alternate parking arrangements, off-site, pay additional fees for police, for, code enforcement, determined by village. Because I think more than 25 vehicles is where we've always gotten in trouble. And we can't, and you wind up using, that you were there that night with the one that I'm bashing the other elementary school, but that was crazy. There was a zillion cars all over the road, blocking traffic. It was very,
Because they
what's that?
weren't properly parked.
They parked however they
Yeah.
wanted to, but it happened. And I love the Boy Scouts. I'm the one who brought the Boy Scouts to do it. It happened again. When you start to get when you start to exceed the parking that we designated, people start parking everywhere. People start parking on people's lawns.
If you told them they had to bring a shuttle, and put everybody in one lot or the other, down here in California, you have
Well,
Walnut and Dodge by the park.
but you're
Well,
also
that'll limit
you're
cars
also
coming in.
closing off those lots to
But
residents.
you need one lot for residents.
I think the 25 is too low, personally.
You do?
I think with Washington being so long, one of the widest roads that we have, you could park on one side of Washington, leave the other side untouched, and still be able to get through
I think,
and fit double the amount of.
yeah, I agree, but I think I don't know if it's with code or we just need to look at it, but I still kind of think we need to assess capacity for parking for the village and then cap it based on capacity, because the reality is we don't want anybody parking on the side roads, right?
They can.
You can't park there, right? So we need to determine, I think we need to determine what are realistic roads that can be parked on, and then we can assess how many vehicles can be parked on that road. And then we can put a cap on an event that way and say, these are the roads that we can have parking on, one side of the road. This is a cap for even a large event. Anything that exceeds this, then you need to figure out or bring your own parking or shuttle people.
All right, so why don't we throw the parking back to Frank and
Yeah.
see what,
I think it
Right?
would be,
Code
right, it would be
enforcement's the one
Singingwood.
handling the parking,
Yep.
so they should be the ones to weigh in on what makes
Right.
the most practical sense.
okay, so let's, we're talking about it, we'll throw code parking back to Frank. Then vendors, food and alcohol. Hobart, vendors must be prepaid, no individual payments, no alcohol sales. East Hampton, vendors must be identified, food requires health department permits, alcohol requires CSLA license. West Hampton, sales allowed with separate outdoor sales permit, alcohol requires SLA permit. Sag Harbor, catering allowed with approvals, alcohol requires SLA. So I think this one we have to kind of table, I think, because I think we got to get Joe's feedback on this. But I am, just generally speaking, I don't know why we don't let people, I don't know why we have the rule where it has to be prepaid. I don't know where the liability falls in that.
Because our isn't the village. I mean, I would think.
If they
maybe
have
this
Board
is-
of Health, right?
Sure, but within, if somebody didn't pay and we are named on an insurance, would we be named a lien on the party if they didn't pay?
Well,
No. We allow trucks as long as it's prepaid. We don't allow the exchange of hands typically.
But
Or-
you're saying why do we do that, right?
Yeah,
Because if somebody hires a truck and then names the village as an additionally insured and
oh, and
member,
they guarantee
don't-
X.
and they don't pay them, and then we are listed, could they come after the village because we're named as the event host and we're named on, and we require them to be named as
I don't know.
Additionally
Would we
insured.
be named as the event host though if you book it? Wouldn't the person
This
hiring them?
this one's got to go. I mean,
It's essentially lien rights.
I'm okay. I like the tips with the alcohol. If there's alcohol served, that we have some kind of extra protection. But I personally don't mind if there's a food truck that's selling and people want to do it that way for an event. I don't like, just off the top of my head, have any objection to that. I don't know.
To see our liability.
I think we need to see, so this goes back to Joe for liability. I mean, how do you guys feel about it?
Yeah,
Food vendors are bringing insurance policies into the village.
Yes, they have to name the village additionally insured as well.
I think it has to do with the commercial operation. Because there's some, like a food truck set up for people walking up with $2 back. I think.
I think we have to, let's find out why it is the way it is and then address it. And then other oversights and conditions. Cleanup required, no trash left penalties, ban on future permits. East Hampton requires emergency medical plans, designated Suffolk agents. West Hampton requires garbage plan indemnification agreement, possible fees for police. The Department of Public Works, Sag Harbor requires ADA compliance, no smoking, vaping. I mean, I don't know about this other thing. I think that's also for Joe to just consider and let us know. I don't think any of that really, besides garbage cleanup, I don't think any of it applies to us. People cleaning up after themselves. I
think between Joe and code enforcement, that's the valuable input we need on a number of these topics that.
let me just look at this for a second. Vendors and alcohol. I mean, if you go, then let's just quick run through this and see if we have any other questions so I can feed this back. Type of event, it's just going from the top. We have type of event, family, private event, nonprofit, community event, corporate sponsored, branded. So let's just say that corporate sponsored, branded becomes a different thing. Nonprofit, community event, family, private event. I think that's what.
Are you getting rid of the corporate sponsor?
No, I'm saying that would turn into the mass assembly.
So I just have on here, like, refer to mass assembly.
Yeah,
permit or
they
something.
could still,
Okay.
they would
And then there's
be, if it's a
Getting
corporate
rid of it.
sponsored event, I think we can make our mass assembly permit work for
And there would
that.
be a different sliding scale of fees based
Yes.
on how large the event.
Okay, and then event details, attendance, up to 20, see, I had done 14 days, 30 days, 45 days, so I had kind of broken it up, 14 days, but we already kind of did this, we did sliding scale from 21 to 90, okay? And then, the one thing is, over 100 people, Board of Trustees in-person approval. If you're gonna have a wedding, do we require that they come before the Board of Trustees? I don't think so. Yeah, okay, so let's just do the 21 to 90. Parking, we're gonna have, that's Frank. Vendors, Joe. Alcohol, Joe. Applicant, yeah, okay, so Joe. Insurance and deposits, I think we're sticking to what we said, same. And that's it. All right. So I'm gonna feed this back, circle it around. If you guys have any additional thoughts, I'll do it next week. So if you want to think about it, everything we discussed, if you have other suggestions, I'll put it on a group text and we can all kind of pipe in. But I think let's get some feedback from Code and Joe and see where we're at. Okay, starting point. All right. So that's that, and now we can go into executive session.
You
So,
wanna just close the work?
yeah, oh, yes, good idea. So, motion to adjourn the work session at 7:07 PM. So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, motion to go into executive session at 7:07 PM. So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All right. Should I pause this? What do I
I'll
do?
take care of it.
Okay. Sorry.
This conference will now be recorded.
Okay, motion to conclude executive session at 7:23. So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All right, let's get going. Wait, I have to start my thing. Motion to begin the business session at 7:24. So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Now we can do the pledge.
I
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right. So, where's my, now I gotta get the other thing. Oh, I didn't get a copy.
It's in here. It's on the back
Where's
of
my,
the.
but I don't know what I did with my packet. Oh, here it is. No, never mind, I found it, sorry. Yeah, I know, I know it was me and not you. I'm okay with that, all right. Where's, oh, there it is, okay. Announcements. Assemblywoman Rebecca Cassay will be attending the November 13th, 2025 Board of Trustees meeting at 6 p.m. The village will be accepting resident requests, resident questions and concerns from Ms. Cassay via email submitted to poquatvillage@villageofpoquat.com through November 10th. Residents are also encouraged to attend in person. The community dock will be closing for the season on or about November 1st. The pier will remain open during winter months. Community sprinklers will be turned off on or about the last 2 weeks of October. Items in boat racks need to be removed by no later than December 1st. Community garden should be cleared by December 15th. The Poquat Community Association is hosting its annual Family Fun Halloween at Trustees Park on October 25th from 2 to 5 p.m. Trunk or treat volunteers are needed. Anyone interested in participating, please contact Poquat Community Association at Gmail. I forgot one other one. The village is coordinating with our contractor for road work, milling and paving this Friday, October 10th and Saturday, October 11th. Work is scheduled to begin at approximately 7 a.m. and conclude at approximately 5 p.m. on both Friday and Saturday. Friday milling, there will be no full road closures on Friday. However, the road surfaces will be rough after milling is complete. Please drive slowly. Road closures will be in effect while paving is on Saturday. Paving will begin on Washington at approximately 7 a.m. to 2 p.m., followed by Adams, China, and China in the afternoon. Road closures will be in effect while paving is underway. Residents on Washington and its adjoining roads, China and Adams, who need to leave the area on Saturday morning are asked to park at the tennis court lot of Trustees Park with overflow parking available on the right side of White Pine before 6:30 a.m. No vehicles may be parked on Washington, Adams, and China on Friday and Saturday. The vehicles parked on these roads during road work will be towed at the owner's expense. This marks our first step in addressing many community requests for comprehensive road improvements throughout Poquat. Several additional roads are already earmarked for future paving. We're confident that the results will be worth the temporary inconvenience. All right. That's it for announcements. Public hearings, we have none. Public comments? Anyone? No, we're reviewing it and discussing it, but we're not going to be addressing it publicly tonight. We will probably be turning our answers over to legal because it's in court. Yes, we received it. It's going to be reviewed with the attorney before the next court session.
Oh, okay.
Likely. I don't know, when's the next court session? Is it next week? Yeah, before the next court session. Depending on what we discuss with the attorney. I can't speak to that yet because we haven't gotten that far. Okay, you're welcome. Board updates. Planning board. The planning board's next meeting is scheduled for October 13th at 6 p.m. Zoning boards of appeals next meeting is scheduled for October 17th. October 15th. Sorry. Okay. We don't. I don't have the reports. I think I dropped them off. But let's do. Oh, you know what? I dropped it off the. Yeah. Okay. Right. Public safety report.
Public safety report. I've checked the first one, incident reports. We had 6, 2 of which were EMS calls to suspicious persons, 1 check on the welfare, and 1 code violation. Property maintenance 1, 1 report. Number of code violations that are open, pending court, or compliance is 5. Parking violations addressed for 6. Field prints tickets year to date were 15. Special event permits 11. Direct patrol, special direct patrol for 8, including 3 unoccupied homes, patrols for solicitors, plus,
Thank you. All right. Treasurer's report. Yeah, you need a copy. I have it.
So looking at the expense versus budget report, I found it looks like looking at all of the line items, it looks like the village is spending very close to the budget with just a few variances. The insurance is fully paid for the year, and it has a surplus budget of $27,002.50. It's recommended that these funds, since there will not be any more insurance bills for the year, that these funds be deposited into the NYDLASS account. Street maintenance supplies is showing spending of about 240% of the budget at this time, but a good portion of that amount will be reimbursed. So this over budget amount will be offset by the reimbursement. Public safety wages have only used 25.6% of the budget today. It would be expected to be at 33% of the budget at this point of the year. If the staffing and wages of the department remain the same, the surplus will continue throughout the rest of the year. Planning and zoning board has used 130% of the budget as of September 30th. A portion of these expenditures will be reimbursed, so this line item is expected to end the year, not expected to end the year.
Okay, thank you, Judy. Welcome to our meetings. Yay!
Sorry,
you have any-
sorry
if
to
you-
interrupt the clapping. I do have one question. Sorry. Point number 1, we were talking about potentially making, changing the policy for the flood insurance. Would that come out of this year's budget, or would that be on
If
next
we
year?
add that rider,
Yeah, so
it
there,
would come out of this.
Yeah.
okay.
So we would,
That might vary slightly.
well, I mean, we can,
Do you have an idea of how
we'll,
much that's going to
it
be?
was, what wasn't it, like $1,000?
It's not much.
930.
Yeah, it's not a lot,
Yeah.
so, I
And
mean,
there's also additional, which I didn't address, the workers' comp is what
Okay.
so there's some extra.
Potentially offset itself
Under
anyway. Yeah,
Yeah.
I was just curious if it goes to, if that's now or if that goes towards next year's. Okay.
No,
Thank
we
you.
would just put it in the New York class because we earmarked more than we thought
Yeah, yeah.
because of the predictions that they had.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, I mean, that might be the only variable, but I mean, I think we should plan, you know, what are budget transfers? Are we coming up to a period of budget transfer? November?
Would be
Yeah.
quarterly.
Yeah. So I would look into like maybe doing 25,000 and just leaving a little extra in there for, so that in case we do decide to approve that, right? Should we do that?
Yeah, 25, I think. Good.
Okay,
Thanks, Judy. and
Thank you.
thank you. All right, and I think, are we up to resolutions?
Yeah.
Wow. Okay. Resolution 10 is 102025-1-01, resolution adopting October 9th, 2025 addenda is printed, so moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Resolution 102025-02, resolution to schedule the Village of Hopewell Board of Work Sessions meeting beginning at 6 p.m. on November 13th, 2025, with business meeting to follow immediately. So moved.
All in favor?
Resolution number 10-2025-03, resolution accepting the monthly report from August 7th, 2025.
Move. Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Resolution number 10-2025-04, resolution adopting the minutes from the August 7th, 2025 work session of the Board of Trustees meeting. So moved.
All in favor?
Aye.
Resolution 10-2025-05, resolution accepting the monthly reports from September 11th, 2025, so moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Resolution 102025-06, resolution adopting the minutes from the September 11th, 2025 work session of the Board of Trustees meeting. So moved.
All in favor?
Resolution 10-2025-07, resolution authorizing the closure of the Dime Community Bank Trust agency account as per recommendation from village auditor R.S. Abrams. So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye. Resolution number 10-2025-08, resolution to approve the purchase of a new trash can receptacle from Recycle Away in the amount of $1,416.85. So moved.
All in favor?
Aye.
Alright,
Go Jess.
so we have Axe Creatives for $125, Call Ahead Corp for $90, Sparkline Asphalt and Maintenance for $36,350, PSEG Long Island for $470, PSEG for $14.15, and West Bank for $94.90 for a total of $37,144. Next, we have the subscription to the New York Flood Queen for $100, Pirate Ship for $27.20, Shutterstock for $49, which has since been disputed, USPS for a total of $193.28, and Web iPower for $89.72 for a total of $459. That was for the first one. Next are the bills. We have Bond Showing King for $90, Monte Pablo Paving Corp for $25,575.73, Organically Green for $250, Suffolk County Water Authority for $1,118.78, Suffolk County Water Authority for $654.28, Suffolk County Water Authority for $60.67, and Verizon Wireless for $101.01 for a total of $27,850. Next, we have 8 Axe Creatives for $60, Paul Edelson for $250, the Justice Court for $800, Monte Pablo Paving Company for $2,000, PSEG Long Island for $486.06, and PSEG Long Island for $45.44 for a total of $3,641. Next, we have the Home Depot credit card for $47.94. And then we have Construction Technologies for $195.15. The Victor subscription for $75. Optima for $135.14. Joseph Prokop for $1,837.50. PSEG Long Island for $519.43. PSEG Long Island for $14.13. Small Business Management Solutions for $47.40. Then we have Transformer Solutions for $1,644.45. And Winter Brothers Hauling and Loan Out for $12,276 for a total of $17,244.
Okay. Resolution 10/2025-09, resolution approving all checks per the voucher report, so moved. All in favor?
Aye.
Motion to adjourn the meeting at 7:38 PM, so moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All right.